Okay, so welcome back YouTube. This is part 2 of my tutorial on the MyFitnessPal smartphone app, and today, right now, we're going to be looking at how to start adding food into the app to count your calories and your nutrients. So go ahead and open that app back up if you haven't already, and you'll notice once you've downloaded it on your phone and set it up, pretty much every time you open it, you don't need to log in. It just takes you straight to your home screen. So we're going to go to Diary down the bottom here and hit Diary. And we're going to start adding in some foods. So this is probably the peskiest part of the app, is the very first time you go to add foods in. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it, and yeah, show you maybe some shortcuts, and we'll take it from there. So luckily for me, I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. So the first time you go in, you're just going to search for the food that you had. So my breakfast every day consists of, Uncle Toby's. Ooh, would she learn to type? All right, Uncle Toby's steel cut oats. Whoop. And then I just go search down the bottom once I've typed that in, and there it is right there at the top, steel cut oats, Uncle Toby's. The serving size comes in 40 grams. And I did indeed eat 40 grams today, but you can actually, with these, depending on how much of something you've eaten, you can touch on the serving size, and sometimes you can change it. So if you ate an odd number of grams, like 13 grams or something like that, I don't know why you would eat 13 grams of oats, but let's say you did. You could change the serving size to 1 gram, and then you could change the number of servings to 13. For 13 grams of oats, and then you press your check button and it automatically comes up with the calories, the fat, and the other nutrients. So there's your carbs at 8.6 grams, comes up with all the nutrients for that food. Now I didn't eat 13 grams of oats, I ate 40, so I'm going to set that back the way it was, and change that back to 1 serving of 40 grams. And then when I'm done and I'm happy with the serving size and the number of servings, I hit my check mark up top, bam. And there we go, this food's now added into, there you go, there's a quick tip there which I'm going to take you through in a second. It's now added into my breakfast. Now I didn't just chow down the dried oats by themselves. I always cook my oats with a bit of almond and coconut milk, and actually I'm going to show you a cool trick here. So if you don't want to type and search for food, but if you know you're looking for a food that has a barcode, and if you happen to keep the packaging with a barcode, I'm going to show you how to use this barcode function down here to scan a food in. So bear with me for a moment, I might just need to change the camera angle, and I also need to go grab my almond milk. Hang on a moment. Alright, so I've got almond milk. Whoops, she's not going to fit under there, so hold on a moment. See if I can make this work. Stick this up here for a sec. I have absolutely no idea if this is even in the camera shot or not, so we're just going to have a go at it. That's my almond milk. It has a barcode on the sides. And you can see in the app when we try to add a food that there's this button down here that you can press. It's basically like a little picture of a barcode. So you press that. Yes, MyFitnessPal would like to access the camera. Okay. It's going to open up your camera and it's going to come up with that square there. And from here, I'm going to pick this up. This is really hard on camera. Hold my barcode up to the square. And hey presto, it comes up with my almond and coconut milk. Oh, come down off there. It's come back with my almond and coconut milk. I will check that video later to see if that actually came up in shot. So And again, once you've done that, once I have done that, I just go ahead and put this camera back where I had it. Stop it. I'm very professional here. Okay. I'll go ahead and wake up. I'm just going to go ahead and change that serving size. Actually, I do have a cup of milk on my oats, so 250 mils. But again, if you needed to change, let's say I only had 200 mils, which would be, I guess, 80% or 4/5 of that. You can actually change your serving sizes. You can go in fractions. So let's say I had, 5/4 of that. I don't have 5/4. So when I'm messing around with my serving sizes, I usually set this little button here to decimal. And I know that if I had 200 mils of milk, that's about 80%. Whoa. And I do tend to guess my percentages a bit. If you're wanting to be really precise, I recommend going to your serving size and changing it to 1 mil. And then adding in however many mils you had by changing the number of servings. Hopefully that made sense. So 80%, that's 200 mils of almond milk along with my oats. I'm going to add that in. And from there you might also add things like, so I usually have some chia seeds. Stay. Yes, I usually have chia seeds with mine as well. Whoa, come back. Chia seeds. And here's a fun fact. So I've just searched chia seeds, and you can see that these two entries at the top here have a little green check. Now that actually means that these, the calorie and the protein and carb, like the nutrition information in these entries, it's been verified by MyFitnessPal. It means it's correct. So MyFitnessPal is a wonderful tool, but you do need to be a little bit careful when you're searching for things, because sometimes people put things in and they don't get the nutrition information right. So anyone can add a food into the MyFitnessPal database for other people to look up and search. So anytime you're searching a food and you've got the option to go with one with a green check mark, always go with the green check mark, because you know that that's going to be correct and it's not going to be messing up your calorie count. My preferred option is always to do the barcode scanning method, because whenever you scan the barcode, it will come straight up with the nutrition information as it actually appears on the packaging of the product, so you know that it's going to be correct. So here I'm just going to quickly add my chia seeds. I actually had, I have 15 grams of chia seeds, so I'm going to set that to 1 gram. I'm going to add 15 to be precise, and check. And the last thing that I always put in my breakfast is protein powder, because yeah, it's sometimes hard for me to hit that protein thing during the day. Now I could scan my barcode again, because I do have the package in the pantry, but I'm just going to type it in: Musashi P30 vanilla. Whoa. Come on, iPod, show me some love. Vanilla protein, there we go. Actually looking for the protein powder, not the pre-mixed drink. So sometimes you might have to scroll around to find what you're looking for. And you can see there's quite a lot of entries here for my protein powder. Alright, that's the one. I think they recently changed the serving, maybe not. Yeah, if you really can't find what you're looking for, sometimes you just go with the nearest thing. Generally with these things, they'll be pretty close. So here's the P30 strawberry powder shake. That's an entry someone's made with milk, so not interested in that. Sometimes you might need to change your search terms. So protein powder, there's a keyword I'm missing. Here it is, protein shake P30 vanilla flavor, and this is the powdered form. I generally only eat my protein a half a serve at a time, so I only eat half of the recommended Musashi serving size. So I'm going to go ahead and change that serving to half or 50%, 0.5. Press the check mark, and there we go. So that is my breakfast. So next thing I want to show you is what you can then do with these meals. So whenever you've finished adding in a meal, you can go to the More button and you can save the meal. You can also copy it, but saving it is the best way for you to go. So what you want to do with MyFitnessPal is start to build up a database of your meals and the things that you eat regularly so that you can just quickly add them in whenever you want them. So if I go save this meal, breakfast, it says enter meal name. It's got the different items that are in that meal. I'm going to call it Rachel's breakfast, or Rachel's oats breakfast. It's not the only breakfast I eat. Yeah? I'm getting no joy from this autocorrect. All right. Breakfast, there we go. All right, I'm going to call it Rachel's Oats Breakfast, and then I'm going to tick it off, and it is meals successfully created. All right, so then what I can do with that meal is, for example, pretty sure I could add it in for dinner if I wanted to. So once I go to add in food into the diary again, across this tab, if I click on meals, there it is, Rachel's Oats Breakfast. And I click this button, add meal in, and hey presto, and I have breakfast in my dinner slots. So you wouldn't do that though. Where you would use this function is obviously when you get into your diary for the next day, and you can skip between days in your diary by clicking the arrows either side at the top of the screen. The next day when you go to add breakfast, instead of looking for everything again, you're going to have two options here. You can add food, and you'll actually see everything you put in for breakfast the day before is going to be right here because it was a recent food for you. So you could press this check mark down the bottom, add them all in like that, and press add, and your breakfast is done. Or you can also go to the meals tab, click on your breakfast, add breakfast, and you're done. So, I think I just added my breakfast twice. Oops, so you only want to go with one of those options, either using the check boxes or adding meals in. If you accidentally add in a food that you didn't eat or you need to change, you can always edit anything in your diary just by clicking on it. You can change the serving size, the number of servings, or you can delete by swiping your finger to the left. You can delete whatever you need to do. So let's delete that double entry for breakfast. Whoop. And hey presto, there we go. So that's just to get you started on adding food into MyFitnessPal. The last thing I want to show you is as you start to add food into your diary, and this is the best part, my favorite thing about MyFitnessPal. At any point in the day, you can scroll down to the bottom of your food diary, and there is a button here marked nutrition. And when you touch this button, it is going to bring you up with a pie chart. So this is showing your calories for the day. I've only entered breakfast, so it's showing that 100% of today's calories have come from breakfast because we haven't put the other meals in yet. That's not the one you're interested in though. You want to come up to this light blue bar, swipe across to have a look at your nutrients. So if you're really counting grams down to within a couple of grams, trying to get your protein and your carbs and your fats all balanced out, this is the screen you want to look at. But my personal favorite is swipe once more on the light blue bar to go to macros, and here's the pie chart. So it will tell you how you're doing at a glance with your the splits between your carbs, your fat, and your protein. So I've only put in breakfast so far. I've still got lunch and dinner and a couple of snacks to add into my day, and my goal is 40% carb, 30% fat, and 30% protein. It's actually sitting pretty close with that breakfast. It was a really well balanced breakfast, but it lets me know throughout the day how I'm going, and I can come in here, and if I see that I've got too much carb or too much protein, you can see what you need to keep eating throughout the day to help start to balance those nutrients out. It's a fantastic tool. As I said in my first video, you don't want to get too hung up on it. At the end of the day, the most important thing is your calorie limit. But as I said, learning how to get a good ratio of carb, fat, and protein is going to help you stick to your calorie limit without feeling quite so, I guess, hungry or tired and lethargic all the time. So that's my tutorial on MyFitnessPal. I hope that you've enjoyed, and that's it's been reasonably easy to understand. I know it's a lot of information and I'm probably talking too fast, but if you have any questions at all about using the app, or you want to know any more about it, please do feel free to either ask me through my Facebook group, or you can always chat to me at your next PT session. Alright guys, have a great night.